Question number 2, our citizens have defined a prosperous community as one with high opportunity and low poverty rates. Now, what's the role of the commissioner in fostering prosperity?
As many of you know, my top priority is making an economy in Brownsville that works for everyone. The economy here has to work for everyone, not just for a couple of people. So that is my top priority, and I want to base off of that everything else I'm going to do. My number one thing is back to the basic services. We need to work on public works. We need to work on public safety. We need to go back to the basics. After that, then this is where the role of the commissioners, as one more of the voice of many, what we have to do is we have to bring infrastructure to bring these new jobs, such as advanced manufacturing to Brownsville. So what is the role of government? Well, it's actually being the vessel. We are the vessel, we are your vessel, and I am just one more vote. And as you know, our city charter creates commissioners at large. Why? Because I have to work with the commissioners, such as the ones here. If they want to bring something from the district to the table, well, I have to help them put it on the agenda. So that is our role, to be your voice and to be the voice with other commissioners from different districts. We are not here to have our little own pet projects. We are here to serve you and work on your projects and the projects that the community needs for the future development of Brownsville. Thank you.
Well, the commissioner's role has absolutely everything to do in fostering prosperity. However, in Brownsville, I believe a prosperous community is, right now, we have the opposite. We have low opportunity and high poverty rates, as you all much well know. And that's one job that we definitely need to tackle here as everyone on the city commission. We need to bring education to our city and our people of our city, whether it's a higher education or a opportunity for technical school. What's one thing we don't really have here is a lot of technical opportunities. The commissioner's role is well suited for this because as a commissioner, I can be there and help you with any questions you have or any possibility you have to help prosper our community. We really need to look forward and think about our community so we can have a great community.
Yeah, the role of the commissioner, in my view, should focus on building a mobility framework, for our poor communities to be able to move up, in their status. We have a 35% income poverty rate, which is very, very high. We also have low participation in the labor. We have around 57%. So we need to create more jobs for the people that are here ready to work, and we need to provide a framework for the folks so they can move up. Given that I'm from Southmost, growing up with very low income, in my childhood I grew up with less than $15,000 a year. And given where I'm at now, I can tell you that I know some of the challenges that we face to do that.
As you all know, the majority of the commissioners are not doing anything like that, really. They got their pet projects and all they are is asking for money. Tonight they're going to ask for another $9.5 million on certificates of obligations. Is that the way you create jobs? But the people are asking, and they ask me every day where I work. They want jobs. They want security, which they are not very happy with the police department. They want needs, not wants. The streets are all messed up. And their education is something they always ask, and I always tell them, you need to have some type of education. They look at me and they say, well, how did you get your education? Quite simply, I like school. And I went to school all my life. And all of us here are doing the same thing. But we're not giving them that opportunity because we have so many dropouts in the BISD. And I said it, 50% dropout rate. Let's be honest.
I believe the role of an elected official is to do what the people want and not necessarily what they think the people, or what they think is best. I believe that sometimes we have commissioners that are in office for a very long time, or any elected official for a long time. They seem to think people belong to them and them only. When elected officials sit too long in office, they seem to think that they know all the answers. They tend to forget to ask questions. They tend to forget to quit listening to the people themselves. The people are the ones with the answers. That's what I firmly believe. And that is why I am proposing, if I'm elected as your city commissioner from District 1, is to hold town hall meetings within the district, is to only serve one term. And one term so that you're not necessarily only listening to special interests, but you're listening to the needs and wants of the people. And that is why I'm also planning on holding regular office hours in the district so that people can see you face to face and not necessarily depend on that phone call.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think that we all can agree that a prosperous community has high opportunity and low poverty. The commissioner's role is to shape city policies to effectuate prosperity. Of course, to the extent that government can do that. I believe that the commissioner role also entails just reaching out and listening to people and just developing a sense of community engagement. As a District 1 commissioner, my role will be to advocate for the District 1 Southmost area. I think that when we talk in platitudes and generalities, the concept of a prosperous community can be lost, but I promise that I will always incorporate the interests of District 1.
Thank you so much.
As your commissioner these last 4 years, we have learned things that we do know. That is the exact definition to bring prosperity. What is most important as a city commissioner is that your infrastructure needs to be up to par. When these big companies get to town, they get off the airplane, they don't need to see a street full of potholes. So what was the first thing we went to go do? We went and we paved the streets right in front of the airport. You focus on infrastructure, we focus on all of our assets that we have to offer. If there's incentives, depending on the company, who it needs to be. Definitely our community needs education standards to make sure that we are able to fill these jobs that outside opportunities bring to us. And infrastructure is where it all starts. You look good, people like you. And so that's what we focused on in District 2. We brought in SpaceX, Allegiant Air. We have a new airline that will be announced soon. We have CK Technologies, and we have a $114 million company coming in. Thank you.
Basically, District 2 is the eastern part of town. As we've been talking and block walking my district, I live in a different part of that district. I live on the western side. But when we've got out there to Xena, Bernal, and Vera streets, they don't want to hear about SpaceX. They don't want to hear about the LNG plant that may or may not come. They want to hear about that pothole that's been sitting in front of their house for the last 2 years. And so I think we have to, if we want to do this right as commissioner, we have to come up with a better plan than just going and throwing this little black tar on there and kind of tapping it, and 3 weeks later it's the same thing. I know that there's vehicles out there that exist. They do a better job than they're called pot killers. I think we have to invest in something like that so we can do this right and not let it just last for a couple of weeks and then we have the same problem. The money that we've spent with these gentlemen doing this work and the material that we've spent and the trucks that we have and the time, it's just not being given back.